I get asked all the time, how can I create content faster? How can I create content that's more impactful? How can I stop spending hours and hours on end creating social media graphics and coming out with new videos and new blogs? And listen, I totally get it. I'm an entrepreneur as well. I understand that it's a lot of work to create content on, Facebook and Instagram and LinkedIn and Twitter and Facebook and all these amazing platforms. And I feel like there's this added pressure that we feel as entrepreneurs, especially these days, that there's like a limited opportunity, right? Like this limited window of the internet where we can reach our ideal clients for free, which is an amazing thing. But we also have to go about it in a strategic way. So in this episode, I'm so excited to share my best content hacks so you spend less time creating content and more time on running your business and doing the things that actually matter for your brand. So let's get into it. All right, fam, so hack number 1 is plain old mastery. And I see this with so many entrepreneurs. They're just trying to grow everywhere all at once. And that's just not a strategy that will work. If you know and follow, right, these amazing content creators on any platform, and you follow kind of like their journey, you know that they really focus on mastering one platform at a time. So maybe they're like super smart about, kind of creating beautiful images, so they totally crush it on Pinterest, or they take things to the next level on Instagram before they're actually on YouTube and on Twitter and on Facebook and on Facebook groups and blogs and all this stuff. You don't have to do it all. I'm giving you officially permission to select one pillar content channel and one supportive social media channel, and that is it. Focusing on mastery is so critical and so important if you want to stand out. Otherwise, you're going to try to be everywhere and do a really, really bad job at it. It's way too much. You don't have to put that much pressure on yourself. So master content creation, master one platform, stick to it, double down on it, and then when you have a larger team that you can afford to actually, you're profitable, you can afford to get people to do things for you and help you master other platforms, do that. But start with mastery. It's so important. It's about doing less, not more, doing less. And doing less is actually going to allow you to be more impactful because you have all of your energy focused in one area, not kind of spread out throughout 17 different channels that you can't even handle on your own. Hack number 2 is to research your buns off. And we talked about this in the previous episode, all about, kind of finding content ideas. So if you haven't watched that one already, I will link to it in the description box below so you can check it out after this video. But it's so important to do the work up front and research. Oftentimes when we're creating content, it can be all about what we want to write about, what we want to say. And there has to be this kind of like beautiful balance between getting the word out there and your message and your voice, but also writing and creating, content around things that people actually care about. And so this has happened to basically everyone I know, including myself, where you get a little bit too carried away with your content topics and you only start creating content around topics that you care about, where it's so much easier to create content that people care about because that content will get so much more mileage. You'll get so much more out of it for the work that you put into. So even though this doesn't seem like a hack, it actually is. It's a huge growth hack. So you'll see a lot of the bigger YouTube channels, a lot of the Instagrammers, a lot of the bloggers use this all the time, right? They tap into trends through research, and that way their content, all that work that they're putting in, actually gets them so much more results. So if you think about it, right, you can put out 10 different blogs on topics that you want to talk about but no one's searching for, or you can put out 2 blogs around topics that people are really searching for and get so many more views, so many more sales, so many more leads. So definitely do your research. Content hack number 3 is to plan ahead. these days we've gotten to the point where we can actually plan a full quarter in advance. Whereas before, when I was a solopreneur doing it all on my own, I was actually only able to plan about a month worth of content. But really, if you plan in advance, if you have a solid content calendar and you take your business seriously and you run it like a media company, which is what we all are in this day and age, you will always be ahead of the game. It'll save you so much time and energy instead of just posting things on the fly if you have a solid system to actually put out your content. And planning is a huge part of it. So if you haven't gone through my content calendar system course already, I will link to it in the description box below. You can check it out. It'll give you an entire system of how to plan and organize your content in a strategic way so that you're not running around in circles trying to figure out, when is a good time to post and what should I post about. You just waste so much time doing that. Have a system in place, plan in advance. All right, so content hack number 4 is to batch. And what I mean by batching isn't in the traditional way where people often assume, like when I share batching, people often think about, oh my gosh, like it's basically taking, sitting down and creating 20 blogs or 20 videos. And sure, that could be one type of batching, but I really want you to find the batching strategy that works for you. So that might look like, sitting down and putting together all of your tweets for the week, or maybe it's your Instagram post. Start small. You don't need to, kind of hyper batch and try to create everything at once when you get started because you don't have your workflow down yet. So instead, micro batch, right? So if you can create all of your graphics for social media at one time, boom, 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 get that done. If you can batch, right, your video creation, maybe you start with 2 videos at a time, and then you go up to 4 videos at a time, and then maybe you can kind of be like me at some point. Just kidding, I'm not that great. I just started doing hyper batching, and you can put out, 12 videos at the same time. Now, I don't do it in a day. It's too much energy. So I'll kind of batch 4 videos in a day and then do that for 3 days straight. And then we have content for an entire quarter, which is amazing. It gives me the ability of working on the things that matter in my business, that are going to move the needle forward, the things that have to get done in my brand. Because, we're running a membership site and a blog and a YouTube channel and a podcast, and we're doing social media, and we're, doing collaborations and running Facebook ads. It's a lot. So it's really important that you harness the power of batching so you save a lot of time. Totally do it. Like, start small and then work your way up. All right, so the next tip is to repurpose your content, and not in the way that most people think about repurposing, where it's like you're just sharing the same content over and over and over again and people get super bored. Instead, I want you to actually give your content more mileage. That's what it's all about, right? So for example, this video that you're watching right now will get turned into a transcription via a tool we use called Temi, and then my team will put together a blog. But when it was just me, I would just create a quick blog summary. And now we have 2 different content pieces. This video will also get, chopped down into smaller bite-sized pieces that'll go into Instagram, and it will go into Instagram stories, and we'll go into IGTV. And you'll do the same thing with our tweets, with our Facebook posts. It's really important that you start building your social media content bank. And if you repurpose your content, now it becomes so much more manageable, because all you have to do is kind of fill in the gaps with fresh content that you create, on the fly, something like Instagram stories or Instagram posts, because not all your content should be repurposed, but it does really shrink the amount of time that you have to put into creating all new original content. And an extra benefit is that it gives your audience a chance to consume your content. We're so self-absorbed that we think as entrepreneurs that people are like, stop everything the minute she publishes a video and goes and watches it. That doesn't happen. So it's important that we give people the opportunity to consume it on different channels, consume it via different lengths, based on the time, right, that they have to invest in consuming our content. So try repurposing. it's gonna be a game changer for you. All right, so hack number 6 is to delegate. And I know that this might not sound doable for everybody, right? Know at what stage of your business path you are on. Inside the Business Lounge, we have an entire success path. It's how we run the community. And I always tell my members, know at what stage of the 6 stages you're in right now, right? Are you in the launch phase? Are you in the hustle stage? Are you in the breakthrough? Are you in the scale stage? And so depending on what stage you're in and how much money you're generating, use delegation strategies that make sense for you. So if you're pre-revenue, for example, maybe you're in the launch stage or you're kind of, in the hustle or the validation stage of your business, it's really important that you understand that you might not be able, right, to hire someone right out of the gates. Maybe you don't have the funds to do that yet because you're not necessarily generating income yet. That doesn't mean that there aren't things you can do to delegate. So maybe you have an amazing partner, an amazing husband, an amazing girlfriend, a mom or a dad, a little brother, a little sister that would be willing to take a few things off your plate and help you out and support you. I know when I started my business, my husband was super supportive and really helped me figure out, okay, how can I delegate? How can I use my support system and leverage it? So one of the things that you can do is, maybe you ask your hubby to take care of one of your errands, and that way you can use that time to follow through on your content. Or perhaps you have a little brother or a little sister who can, help you set up your camera and make sure that everything is running smoothly when you're batching your videos. Those are just some ideas for those of you who are pre-revenue. Now, when you're post-revenue, maybe you're kind of in that middle spot where you may not be able to afford someone to work for you full time. So instead you can, outsource and delegate on a per project basis. So awesome websites like Fiverr and Upwork are really good resources where you can find people who will do simple tasks or even complicated projects and take things off your plate. So you can start having people create your YouTube thumbnails on Fiverr or edit some of your videos, or maybe you can find someone that can help you with transcribing your blog or creating beautiful images. All of those small tasks you can start outsourcing, and that can really take a lot off your plate. And of course, if you are more advanced and you're kind of maybe in the breakthrough through the scale stage, this is the kind of time where you want to start bringing in a full-on team. So my team is amazing. Most of them are in the Philippines. And if you want to kind of think about maybe hiring abroad, I highly recommend checking out onlinejobs.ph. We have an entire course on how to hire and outsource in the Philippines. If you're interested in kind of learning more about that, it's in the Business Lounge. I will drop a link below. But one of the things you want to really think about is finding the right people. That's a whole nother topic that we will tackle and address in a later video. But for now, when you're hiring, when you're trying to find someone who can be kind of like your right-hand person, highly, highly recommend that you really focus on finding someone that fits your culture, because skills can be learned, skills can be, kind of shared, and you can train someone, but you can't change their personality. You can't change their work ethic or their behavior. So that's my really power tip for delegating. And then the last hack I have for you is to document instead of producing, right? So document instead of produce. It's so, so important that you kind of leverage this as you go about your day. And this is especially practical for those of you who maybe are building your business on the side, you're side hustling, and you're kind of trying to grow, or even those of you who are very advanced, you're already at the scale stage and you want to just, go all in with your content. So you probably heard the strategy before from Gary Vaynerchuk. He kind of made it very popular, and I think it's amazing. And that's just documenting what you're doing in your day-to-day life, right? So maybe you're an e-commerce store, and maybe you have an Etsy shop, or you have a Shopify store, and you're creating amazing products. Show the behind the scenes of how those products are made, right? Or maybe you are kind of negotiating with a new manufacturer, or maybe you are kind of showing people the behind the scenes of how your product gets made, or where you're sourcing materials from. all of that can be amazing content that you can literally do on the fly. It doesn't have to be this complicated production with all these intricacies. Just make sure that you're documenting that content. So you'll see if you follow me on Instagram, which you totally should, because I share a bunch of bonus content that is not on this channel. You'll see me on Instagram literally every day, go in as I'm working and share a tip or something that came up in my community or a question that someone asked. And that's just content that I can create on the fly. It takes so much pressure off of me to have this like super fancy setup with lights and microphones and cameras and all that stuff. Documenting your life, documenting what's going on, such a powerful way of creating content on the fly. It'll save you so much time and energy. I cannot stress this enough. Amazing power hack. All right, so there you have it. Those are my top 7 content creation hacks to help you save loads of time and energy in your business. If you haven't already joined us inside the Business Lounge, I highly recommend joining because we dive into all these amazing topics, everything from creating amazing email marketing campaigns to setting up landing pages to running Facebook ads, blogging, Instagram, YouTube, you name it, we cover it inside the lounge. And these videos are just a little tiny snippet of what you will learn when you join our community. We have over 30 courses, plus coaching calls, a full success path, tons of amazing archived content in our library from past coaching calls and to full-blown a forum and a membership to communities that you can get plugged into with over 1,000 members. I'm so excited about that and highly recommend joining if you haven't already. Thank you so much for watching this episode, and I will catch you on the next one. Leave me a comment below and let me know, what are your best content hacks? Do you have any suggestions, any insight? What resonated with you? I'd love to create more videos like this one, so if they were enjoyable and you appreciated them, let me know in the comments below because we're always listening to see what content you'd like to see us create next. All right, that's all for me. Un beso, bye, and I'll see you on the next one.
I feel the warmth of your skin. I feel the touch of your hand. Love you with all of my heart.